Today I bring a book to summarize for all of you, entitled Faces, with the following subheadings. How to see the hearts of others through the face. Before you start, imagine a little bit of your own face when you feel the following: surprise, hate, fear, pain, and happiness. If you are listening to this book at home, you can certainly show off these faces without hesitation. But in public, you may not be able to show them like this. No matter how much you hurt or how happy you are, you try to control your emotions and gestures so that you do not overreact. The facial expressions that come out of the heart are different from the hidden faces that we try to express, such as when you are upset, but you try to laugh to hide the feelings in the heart, etc., can really see and be wrong. Let's go to the happy face that comes from the heart. A U.S. television program called Lie to Me is a program that judges truth and error by looking at people's faces and gestures. The show has received rave reviews from audiences around the world. Abroad, research on human faces has been done for a long time. Experts have developed a system of studying the human face, divided into sections through facial muscles that can accurately assess human emotions and thoughts, and is widely applied in many areas, such as medicine, law, business, and politics. In this book, the author talks about the 6 emotions and facial expressions that come out of those feelings and tells you the truth behind a person's face. Listen to this book. You will not be deceived with a face anymore. Here we come to the part where we talk about the middle ground. The system of controlling people's gestures and facial expressions according to their emotions is very complex. They are divided into 6 main categories: startled, hated, angry, scared, hurt, and happy. You can swipe right to see a picture of a face, which shows up when these 6 feelings are combined. How do these 6 emotions relate to each other? And how can these emotions cause acne? Whether in animals or humans, when we encounter something that is too sudden, we are simply stunned because the brain has not yet received enough information to judge whether it is good or bad. Bad things happen, so when something happens suddenly, people cannot make a face after receiving the information, and whether good or bad. The first feeling you get is surprised if it is a negative thing. Create 3 other feelings: hatred and anger to the point of fear. If this makes people feel like they have lost something, it will make them feel that the 5th feeling is painful. But if it is positive, when people get the solution, you will feel happy, which is the 6th feeling. The face is one of the first parts of the body to express human emotions. We first hear about the human senses, which are surprised, and the faces that people show when they are surprised. Why people are surprised is because the things we pay attention to change beyond our imagination. For example, when we throw a stone at a dog that is bowing its head. At that time, the food will show surprise. It will start to raise its head, and its ears will become upright, listen, and be more careful. Like humans, it is silent for a short time to get more information, such as the rock from which direction, who is throwing it, and then it can release the next action, whether to run or continue to eat, and so on. Surprised faces are the easiest to see. All 5 parts of a person's face protrude. Eyebrows open, eyes wide open, mouth open, and so on. Eyes wide open is to see things more clearly to get more information for analysis. Open eyebrows are because of the open eyes. The big mouth is due to the collection of oxygen to be energy for the next activity to run or fight, because if you use your nose to breathe, the muscles of the throat to contract at the same time need to spend a lot of energy. So when encountering an open mouth is a natural reaction to breathing, because it saves more energy and is more efficient. When you are surprised, you can keep your eyebrows and mouth open, but what you cannot control are the eyelids, and this is a feature that you should observe when people are surprised. Be open to yourself to get the most information around you to send to the brain at the same time. If you observe a little more detail, you will definitely see other signs such as breathing, etc. This shows surprises cannot be deceived. We give an example. When you go to the interview, if we are the interviewer to work, how do you know that talking about the point will attract your attention to interview us? When you introduce yourself to a point that makes the interviewer raise his eyebrows a little, you can conclude that he is paying attention to that point, and you can raise that point in more detail. So below, we talk about the second feeling, disgust, and the human face when encountering something disgusting. Disgust also occurs when you see rotten food, do not want to see it, do not want to smell it, or do not want to eat it. But in different social contexts, people may react differently to the same thing. Some find it disgusting, some do not. For example, some people think that squirrels are disgusting, and some people think that they are not disgusting. This book gives 2 reasons why people are prone to hate. The first is rejection, and the second is tired of rejection. Why can people hate? For example, if a student does not like or refuses to listen to a teacher explain a lesson because he thinks the teacher is not good, that student will reject everything that the teacher says or even hates the subject that the teacher teaches. The second reason is boredom. Why does boredom make people hate? For example, at a party, someone goes on stage, bragging about himself, making people around him dissatisfied and bored, which can lead to disgust. Hatred can create a different face. Usually, the 5 parts of a person's face are rolled together. Eyebrows are very wrinkled, both eyes are closed, the nose is narrowed up, and the mouth is pulled up forcibly. Of course, in public, people cannot show such a straight face, especially in large gatherings. We cannot show such behavior, but what cannot lie is the nose pushed up, making both sides of the wings have been shown solely to give a sense of proportion. Such faces show a second feeling of disgust. Know these faces, and you can judge a person's mood or test his thinking on something. If you are negotiating something, you can say the main points one by one, and whenever the other party's nose is slightly raised, it can be concluded that they are not satisfied or agree with what you are saying. How much? We come to see that the third emotion is anger, and the faces of people when they are angry. Hate occurs when one party loses a sacred interest or profit, thus showing some action that indicates dissatisfaction. In the animal video, when the lion catches the coyote and the shark eats the small fish, there is no anger because the two are different in strength and energy. Far from it, when lions and tigers fight for each other's territory to express their respective abilities and ownership, anger and resentment turn into bites for food or territory. Anger therefore arises when 2 parties with similar status and strength are at odds with each other. In life, too, when someone snatches something from you or invades you, you begin to feel angry, such as when a driver touches you or your neighbor beats your child. The most distinctive feature of anger is expressed through the attack lens. When angry, the upper and lower eyelids join together, and the eyes look sharp. Compare the surprised face with the difference in the eyelids and eyes. When surprised, only the upper eyelid is pushed up and the big eyelids open to see more clearly. But when the big eyelids are irritated, the shape is a little harder to look at the target, and the upper and lower eyelids shrink, each. For example, the most common picture you see is when a couple is arguing. Before a conflict arises, the parties to the conflict often show signs of anger, and you can see that the gap between their eyes and their eyebrows is starting to widen, and that looking at the target is sharper than we can ever understand. As a result, the war between the couple has arrived. Then we come to the part where we talk about the middle ground. We feel scared when something can cause something beyond our ability and control. This feeling has existed since millions of years ago. The September 11th, 2001 crash of the World Trade Center, which we call 9/11, scared people around the world and many more things, such as when I, a family member of an accident victim, etc. But it can make people feel scared. When people are scared, it is very difficult to control themselves. They cannot control their actions until their soft hands and feet cannot move. In such a frightening situation, the most frightening face of a frightened person is the eyebrows folded together, the eyes wide open, and the mouth wide open. You can definitely see that the face when angry and the face when scared have similar characteristics. They all have narrowed eyes and a large open mouth. But when angry, the eyebrows and eyelids are pressed down, and the inner part of the eyebrow is pushed up and contracted. But when angry, the eyebrows and eyelids are raised, and the inner part of the eyebrow is pushed down in reverse with the angry moment. When angry, open your mouth to exhale and make a sharp voice, threatening the other party. But when it comes to fear, the mouth is open to breathe, usually to recharge, to run, or prevent risk. In everyday life, the face of fear is not expressed too often. Most people try to hold back or hide it, because it reveals a person's weakness. But often, the first facial reactions are not easy to hide or control. This kind of face is easy to notice. The eyebrows are wrinkled and raised, and the eyelids are raised. We come to practice so that you do not know that you are scared. You can try to control your eyebrows and eyelids so they do not shrink. Otherwise, others will see that you're scared. On stage, speaking in public, anyone can feel nervous. Just more or less practicing this technique can reduce fear, or make them look scared to a large extent. Next, we analyze the fifth feeling, pain, and facial expressions when you are in pain. Pain caused by loss, such as loss of love, loss of family members, or loss of money in business, can all lead to pain. Pain is the only one of the 6 emotions that uses the most energy. Crying is a sign of pain and a natural reaction when a child falls to the ground. Eyebrows constricted, eyes closed, nose and mouth wide open. This is the most recognizable face when people are in pain. What if an adult is distressed and does not cry out to you like a child? How can you tell? The main point you need to observe is that the inner end of the eyebrow is slightly raised, but the other side is pulled down. Why look at the eyebrows? Why not look at the eyes or mouth? Because the eyes can use the muscles to open and close, and the mouth can also be forced to close or open. It depends on the level of pain and the control of the person's emotions whether or not such a reaction should be expressed to confirm the pain. Your body, but your eyebrows. Sadness cannot lie to people. Understand the reason why you can observe your partner when you talk about other people's pain. You can observe his face if his face shows these signs, with eyebrows raised only on the other side. Another of the eyebrows pulled down, the mouth slightly trembling, the iris slippery. I think you should change the subject. Above, we have already mentioned the 5 feelings of surprise: disgust, anger, fear, and pain. Happiness comes from receiving good news beyond one's expectations. That can make us happy and show through laughter. Observing a happy face requires looking at two things: the eyes and the mouth. The eyes are closed and the mouth is U-shaped at the same time. When there is a lot of happiness, the eyes are closed almost in a line, and the mouth is wide open, pulling hard to both ears. But not everyone is happy. Everyone is laughing. Some are just smiling in their hearts, but we can still see. The eyes are not closed, but a little soft, and the mouth tries to keep it open. Smile. A happy face requires the eyes and mouth to work together to express their natural activities. If the eyes are closed, the mouth is wide open, or vice versa. Otherwise, it will look like an inappropriate smile. In life, we can certainly see what a smile comes from the heart and what is just a fake smile. Be able to see if the eyes and mouth cooperate naturally or not. Have you ever seen them laugh? Their mouths are slightly crooked and not in harmony with their eyes. If you notice that the eyes are wide open, the mouth is wide open, or the eyes are closed and the mouth is narrow, this is definitely a fake smile. Of course, we do not have a standard to see the face penetrate the human heart. Otherwise, there is no need for actors. People are born with different faces. Some are born with broken eyebrows. Some have crooked eyebrows. Some have small eyes. And some have funny faces from birth, even though they cry and look like they are laughing. But the three things you need to pay attention to are the eyebrows and the mouth. Being able to observe people's faces is also a special skill that can give you an advantage over others, or you can maintain good relationships with many friends and have a long-term relationship because of the awareness of the face itself. This is the main point of this book. We come to the part where we talk about the middle ground. This book divides people's emotions into 6 different parts: shock, disgust, anger, fear, pain, and happiness. The most noticeable surprise face is the eyelids and eyebrows pulled up on the large open mouth, while the disgusted face is the nose pulled up slightly. The mouth tries to push up through the nose, and if angry, the eyes try to move the upper and lower eyelids, shrink together, and the gap between the upper eyelid and the eyebrow intersects. Another face is a frightened face with frowning eyebrows and a wide open mouth, while a sore face is the eyebrows pushing up and the eyebrows breaking down. Pull up the U shape to the earlobe. In fact, human faces have different muscular structures and complex processes, and human faces change rapidly. However, once you understand these reasons and draw them on a piece of paper one by one, you will see the difference. And through these observations, you can really have a special ability to see through the hearts of others. Through their faces and true feelings, they can also get to know themselves better. Here are the pictures that show these 6 faces. I have already presented them to you in the article, so swipe right to see this picture.